with Mike Stawicki. And Mike, you actually had the fastest time today for the Pro Modifieds. Welcome to Grand Bend, Ontario, Huron County, Ontario. It's good to have you. And hey, how did it feel?
Oh, thanks for having me. And it felt real good. I mean, 588, 252, and we think there's more left. Tomorrow's another day. We're just taking what the racetrack will give us, and we'll go from there.
Now you do the quarter mile in less than 6 seconds. What modifies, I guess? Here's the question.
Well, the chassis itself was built by G-Force Race Cars in Buffalo, and it's all handmade. The body's a super light body from Synergy Composites, and the engine is mine. I did the engine. That's what I do for a living. I build engines, and we all put it all together, and here we are.
And you've got, how big is the crew that you have, and what's the crew makeup?
Sure, it's my best friend John Cage. He helps me in my engine shop every day, and he comes here and helps us with the car when he can. Cruise chief was Jim Salemi and John Salemi were brothers, and their boys, 13 and 8. John and Joe Zito, he's just a volunteer. He likes racing, and so we bring him with us to help us with the car. All really good help, and all you need them. You just need them.
What's your background, and how'd you get into racing?
Back to 16 years old and street cars, and I got into that, and I worked for my dad, had an auto repair shop, and from there I just progressed, and then I met Jim, and we started doing this in 1990, I guess, and from then on it's just history.
Well, you know, it's funny because when I'm looking at the cars that are out there, and I had somebody mention it to me today that it's like a car show on speed. Basically, you see these phenomenal-looking machines coming by, and basically what they're doing is just going by really quick. Did you do other kinds of racing before you got into the drags?
Yeah, I raced in Comp Eliminator and NHRA for a number of years with a C Econo Dragster, and then I built a Top Sportsman car for IHRA, and then I got into the Pro Modified, the legal Pro Modified cars, and we ran real good there. We ran 596 at 235, and then we got into this. This one's way faster and more of a handful.
Now I do understand they're a little tougher to control. Can you give me a little bit of an idea as to what the causes might be on something like that?
Well, a lot of it is the racetrack. If the racetrack gets slick in the middle, the car will start to spin the tires, and then that's what make the car wash out, I guess you call it. The back end will go back and forth. You don't want that to happen. No, you want to get the parachutes out because it'll get you in trouble in a big hurry. This car is real stable. We've had zero trouble with anything as far as movement on the racetrack out of the ordinary. It's all how far you're willing to drive it.
I've talked to a lot of guys who basically use the phrase that you are putting the power through to the road. Basically, you're putting it through to the tires. The tires are translating it.
The racetrack has a certain amount of adherence, and you have to make your car go down that lane that day. So you have to do whatever it takes, maybe timing or fuel or whatever. This engine here, on my engine dyno, make 3,450 horsepower and 2,200 foot-pounds of torque. That's really, really good. And to get that to the rear wheels and get down this racetrack is a real team effort. I'm in the business to sell these engines, and Jim's in the business to sell these cars. We really want people to know who we are. When I'm racing my car, that's what I focus on. And Jim does too. Jim focuses on the car, I focus on the engine, and we try to make this all work, because down the road, that's what our customers get from us, is all our personal care, I guess you'd call it.
So that takes a lot of research and development that you would do as well, I'm sure, in the performance of how it goes about. What are some of the tools you use in order to gauge your performance?
We have an onboard data recorder that gives us data. We use drive shaft speeds and all that stuff. We have a parameter that has to stay within, and we try to keep the car within that parameter to make it go down the racetrack. At home, I have an engine dyno. I can tell you how much horsepower, where it makes it, where it don't make it, and we pretty much, when we leave home, we know what we have and how to tune the clutch to make it go.
So you're looking at really 7 days a week, because even though you might not be racing on Monday, doesn't mean you're not thinking about what it is that's going on with your car, and you're starting to actually plan for the next time, right?
You're absolutely right. In fact, the ride home, usually we talk about what has to be done or what has to be changed or what mistakes we made. But it's a 7-day, you have to be committed, and it's a 7-day-a-week job.
Well, I've seen that from a lot of the guys that are out here on pit row today, and I've seen it's been interesting to watch. Even see some families that have been involved. You know, father-daughter racing and all kinds of different things like this. It's just absolutely amazing to watch what happens and to see the camaraderie among the drivers actually too. I mean, you're competing, but at the same time, I mean, when you're talking about customers, I think you're probably talking about some of your competitors that may be those customers as well, right?
Absolutely right. Absolutely. A lot of these people are my customers, and they're all dedicated to do this. Otherwise, you can't do it. Some are just dedicated more than others.
Sounds like some of them more crazy than others. I don't know. Which is it you're trying to say here?
Yeah, pretty much that's what I'm trying to say.
Well, Mike, I appreciate it. Definitely, it's been an interesting time. Now I'll be able to have something to talk to my son about. Well, thanks, Mike. Appreciate it. You know, so here's two guys from Buffalo.